Downsizing, Diva, and I'm here to stay. Feeling good, taking my GLP, one day to one whole year, wiped away my fears. Done 60 pounds, but that's no all. I kept on going even through the storms. My A1C went down. I still have work to do. Just when you thought I was done, my high blood pressure went down too. Feeling good, taking my diabetes, weigh one less. I have a great story to tell. I'm on the road to lose 100 pounds. Can I do it in 2025? Yes, I can. Downsizing, Diva, and I'm here to stay. Feeling good, taking my GLP, one day.
Hello, 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 and welcome. Happy Sunday, everybody. All right, so let's see, who do we have here in the chat? We have Lakeisha. Hey, Felicia. We have Kim, J, Sweet Healthy Life. Hey, Keisha. We have Elaine, thanks for checking on me. I appreciate that, Soror. We have Bellflower. How are you? Okay. Today is Sunday. I'm excited about it being Sunday because I've had just a I've had a busy week, a busy weekend. Sunday gets us closer to the week, and then it gets us closer to the next weekend. I'm looking forward to warmer weather. Here we've had it was so hot. I mean, it was hot. I remember I talked about on Wednesday I might need to, or Friday. That was Friday when I was I had Zepbound Journey with Ange back on Friday, talking about, dating and relationships and marriage. And I thought I would need to change my clothes and get a tank top. I was so hot. It was warm. I had my air conditioning on. So I went from all that back to the cold. So I may have to step aside and go get a jacket by the time this is all said and done. It's back to being pretty cool here. So anyway, I am looking forward to sharing my week with you guys. I have some pictures. Last week, Mother's Day was the Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to everyone. I hope you enjoyed your Mother's Day. I always say, like, being a mom is the hardest job I've ever had. And I've been working since I was 14 years old. So being a mom is the hardest job, but it's the best job in the world. So I'm excited about that. But last week I didn't come on. If those of you who I chat with, I asked my daughter if I should go live on Mother's Day. And I said, if she says no, I won't go live. If she says yes, I'll go live. Well, she said no. And then when it got closer to the time, she said, no, the day, this was Friday, Saturday, and then into Sunday. I said, well, you told me not to go live. And she says, well, I only said that because, people may be busy, but you're not busy. You could go live. So she said, go live. She changed her mind, but I had already decided I wasn't going, coming on. So last week, for some reason I wanted to have a turkey burger. Like, I was craving. I told you I've been having cravings. So I'm on 10 milligrams, and I've been on 10 milligrams for 6 months. And I'm telling you, I've had cravings the last 2 months. And I thought, I was thinking, oh, maybe it's because, the medication, maybe I need to, take it up a notch. And then I thought, no, I'm going to take it up a notch with what I'm doing. And there was a subscriber, it's a newer subscriber, that sent me a message saying how, she just gives me a lot of credit for sticking it out on 10 milligrams for so long. And, she could tell that I'm just really dedicated to this. And I really am trying to stick with this 10 milligrams, but I have just been having cravings. Like, it's more than I thought. So, and it's every month it ramps up. Like, I feel every week it ramps up, right? And so one of the things I said, I wanted a turkey burger. So I'm going to show you what I actually, got. So I wanted to go up to a place. To me, if you go to a turkey burger, other than the Cheesecake Factory, you got to go somewhere that specializes in hamburgers. Now, remember, I don't eat steak. I'm not a beef pork lady. I haven't eaten that in close to 20 years now. It's not a whole lot of places you could go and get a good turkey burger. Like I make the ones at home myself. So I thought I'm gonna get a turkey burger. So I wanted to go to this restaurant, Red Robin. And so that's where we ended up going. And my dad was not happy. He was like, and I made sure we went early because I, wanted to beat the crowd. And he was like, how am I going to eat a hamburger at, 11 o'clock in the morning? And I said, well, get it with an egg on it. And so he was kind of annoyed. And then when he got in there, it's just so funny. He's like, he likes to complain about stuff. So he got in there and he said, well, we probably got last night's food. Well, the food was so fresh, so hot. It was so good. So that was my Mother's Day. That's what I did for Mother's Day. We went there. My dad took my daughter shopping. I'll show you guys some pictures in a second. And so, I said last week, I didn't really get on the scale because I just didn't want to know at first. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to make a video and I'm going to, just talk about the week. I just didn't want to skip 2 weeks in a row because I think I've done that before. And I wanted to just, me, if you know me, I like to be consistent with what I'm doing. So, I made a video. It came out on, what was that? Thursday. I think I was able to get that video out. And I talked about how I lost, did I lose 0.2? I hate to lose that 0.2. 0.2. So I am so close to that 70 pounds. So we will see if I made it today. I don't know. You guys make a prediction based on what I'm telling you. What do you think? The people who talk to me on the phone here and there, they don't even know because, we don't talk about it. They don't ask me, how much do you weigh? But I wonder what they're thinking because I've told them about my cravings, my food noise. The appetite is not as suppressed as it used to be. So I talked about this in that video. I had a decision to make. I was supposed to see my doctor in May, which my prescription would have been up before we even had an appointment. My original appointment was tomorrow. And I rescheduled that to Thursday because with my daughter being sick, I just didn't want to be off work. I had already been off for that. So I rescheduled it to June when I'm out of school and I'm off work. And so I won't know what I'm going to do, because if I go there and my A1C and numbers aren't right, I may be on 12.5, but it will be driven by my blood work. It will not be driven by, me just saying I need to titrate up because I'm tackling this appetite. I'm working through it. And I do like that because it gives me a sense of still feeling in control of what I'm doing. My workout hasn't been as consistent. And that's just because I've just been so super busy. Like my daughter still has things going on. I don't think I've shared, here recently, she had broke out in a rash and, we thought it was affecting her breathing. So that's the whole reason why, it just kind of escalated. Well, anyway, I thought she was fine and the rash is back. We can't figure it out. I think it's a heat rash. So she has an appointment on Friday to go to a dermatologist. But in the meantime, I'm going to try to get her to an allergist. So that's just been stressful. She's been waking up and she just has things all over her and we don't know where it's coming from. We don't know what's going on with it. I do realize you form allergies. You could not be born with an allergy. You can develop an allergy. So this just came after being allergic to a medication. So I don't know what's going on with her. That has stressed me out. And so a lot of times I'm giving more attention to my daughter instead of, me, which is, what moms do, right? And so, and then I've just been tired. So, I said all that to say, to get some extra steps in here instead of doing an exercise. I've been parking farther away, doing walking, sometimes, I take a longer route to get somewhere, just to get some extra steps in. But, I've, just been walking in place, like, when I'm standing around, just doing little things, back to my strength training without the weights. So I've been moving, but just in a more strategic way and not as not as structured, but I've still been trying to get in some movement whenever I can. So, but yeah, this 10 is not my friend. I don't know what's going on. And I think I was telling somebody yesterday, one of the things I used to do was I used to eat before Lent. I was relying on those protein bars. I don't know if you watched, my interview with Dr. Dan, but I asked him, can you get a good protein bar in there? Coach Romiko, when I interviewed him, I asked him the same thing. And they said, yes, if it's a quality one, Coach Romiko said 20 grams or protein or more. And that's what I was kind of relying on to get my protein in. And then when I gave up the meat and kind of went whole food, plant-based seafood, so I guess I would be considered a pescatarian during the Lent time. I didn't eat protein bars at all. I just gave up the protein bars. I had one in 40 days. During that 30-day period, I didn't eat one. I think I ate one like after the 30 days. And I just bought one at the store because I ran out and I thought I'm not buying anymore. So but before that, sometimes, and I said this before, so I know sometimes people don't catch everything, but remember, if you remember, you've been listening closely, I've said before, I've been eating multiple protein. I was eating multiple protein bars a day, and I had to cut back on that. Those protein bars, I know, they come in handy, but the part of me that looks at them and see the 15 million ingredients, I know that's probably not the best thing to be consuming. But we got to get it in, the protein, how we get it in, right? And, of course, I drink my Fairlife protein shake. So last week, because I had so many things going on, at work, with my daughter, I didn't meal prep as much as I wanted to either. I did not. So what am I going to do about all that? Well, I just, a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do. So, already I got up today and I thought, this is the day I'm going to focus on meal prepping and preparing myself for the next week, right? I can't labor on what happened and, think about last week. I got to be prepared for this week. And I got to kind of think long term here of like, my goal, right, is to get to that 100 pounds. So I got to get my buns moving. So yesterday I made it to Whole Foods. I was able to get my salmon, my wild caught salmon. I brought 3 packs of it, and so I'm ready to go because I have to eat a salmon and a half of a salmon to step up that protein, maybe even 2, because I just eat at night for dinner. I'll eat a vegetable with that. And so I got my 3 packs. I'm thawing them out now. So I'm going to make my salmon. I'm going to meal prep that for my dinner for the week. And then I got my snacks together. And here are my snacks. So I don't know if you guys see this. This is a Snap It. I think it's called Snap It. What's it called? Snap Lock. And so I have some cantaloupe in here, and then I have some nuts and seeds in here. And so I have I think it's like a couple cranberries in there to give it a little sweet kick. But this is like my snack for the week. So I've been packing these, so I packed my daughter's lunch. So I'm all ready and set. And that's the best thing, if I can give anybody advice, if you want to take any advice from me, I just say stay prepared, stay organized, have those snacks, those handy dandy snacks ready to go. I would opt for, instead of protein bars, great. If you can't get that, the protein goes in. If you can't opt for that, if you can't do the fruits and nuts and seeds, I would do the protein bar. But I would try this first, veggies first. I got some celery that's chopped up to ready to go. I'm going to eat that with my peanut butter. And so, for me, I want to stay on 10 milligrams and, I just want to stay on it as long as I can. And, as soon as I feel the cravings and food noise and appetite suppression, instead of saying, oh, I'm just going to titrate up, like my personality, what I know to do is for me, I want to just stick it out and make it work. Right. So that's my goal. Like I said, and I'm a type 2 diabetic. I'm pre-diabetic now. And so I go by what my A1C says and not necessarily what the weight loss and diet says. But, did I lose weight? Did I lose weight this week? So what's your prediction? And then we'll get into it. I'll show you my weight. I'm going to share some pics with you from Mother's Day. And we'll talk about it. All right. What do you guys think? Can you make a prediction in the chat? Do you guys think I lost this week? Do you think I got to that 70 pounds? What do you guys think? 70 pounds. Am I 70 pounds down? So my weight loss twin, Bellflower, we're slow and steady. She says she thinks I went down. Yes, Mel is going to make a prediction. I went down 0.8 pounds. Okay, Mel. Okay, Mel. Oh, Felicia thinks I lost. What do you guys think? Lakeisha thinks I lost. You guys think I lost. You think Nia thinks I reached that 70 pounds. Elaine says I lost. Real Journal Talk with V says I lost. Okay, okay. Real meets real. Real Talk with Elaine is a content creator. Go over there and check her out. Real Journal Talk with V is also a content creator. Go over there and check her out. Here we go. Here are these ladies. Okay, okay. It just struck me because you guys have real and real. All right, all right. So any more predictions? Well, so here we go. Last week I was 236.8. This week I am 235.2. I'm down 71.2 pounds. So I lost 1.6 pounds. You know, my non-scale victories is I'm still fitting into smaller size clothes. And, you know, it feels good to like cross my legs. Like every time I get a chance, I'm crossing these legs. How about that? So, yay! I am down 71. What did I say? 71.2 pounds. There's that point two. But guess what? I'll take it. I will take it. I love that. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So that just confirmed for me that I can conquer my cravings, my food noise, my appetite suppression for me without titrating up. Now, for somebody else, they might have to go and titrate up. For me, I haven't had to do that yet. So we will see. We will see. I mean, geez, Louise. I am so proud. You guys don't know how proud of myself I am because I thought I was going to get up here with a, you know, like be like 6.69.8 and not make it to the 70. I did not know. I did not know. So, so I don't know. We will see. We will see. So I want to share with you some photos of my Mother's Day. So here we go. This is my dad took my daughter shopping, and they're so funny. They came back with a bag, right? And the bag had the flowers in it. They were telling me to close my eyes, don't look. I could kind of see what it is, but she was so excited to pick out these flowers. She's been taking care of these flowers. You know, it just was such a sweet gesture. You know. She has her little money. You know, when we go to Starbucks, she's, you know, offers to pay for that. You know, she still has Christmas money that she's spending. So I love that fact that she wants to share. And being an only child, you know, that's a tough thing for kids to learn. So she's learning that with mom, like we share with each other. So this is her and I. We were getting those burgers. Well, she got a burger. I'm going to share with you what I actually ended up getting. And then that's us, and that's me sitting right there. And yeah, we love pink. And you know, I'm not a pink girl. So Real Talk with Elaine can probably relate to this because we're sorority sisters, and I love all things red. But when you see me wearing pink, it's a you know, and like a gesture for missing my mom and thinking about my mom. My mom was a pink lady, and so now I have embraced pink. You see, my thumbnails are pink. I would have never done that, but I do that to honor my mom. So, but I always say Adelta looks good in everything. All right, so here we go. So this is that's Mother's Day. So this is what I ended up eating. I don't know what if it's on the next slide or not. So this is me. My daughter took that picture. You can't really see that. I'm gonna have to like put a glow or something around it so you can see. But look how I feel like I look slimmed down. I'm so excited about that. Look at that. My daughter, my car was facing you know, toward the restaurant, and then the sun was so direct behind us. So I don't know if you could really see it as good, but that is me. That is me. And then that's my dad. And you know, I just love my dad. My dad, he wears this hat, which I love it. He wears this hat and it says FBI, and it means a firm believer in Jesus. And so I love hanging out with him and seeing that hat. He just brings me joy, makes me smile. And then, so he's probably like my, you know, one of my favorite, you know, he is, I was going to say, him and my daughter, my favorite people in the world. And then this is that burger I ended up getting. Now look at that. Doesn't that look good? But guess what? That's not a turkey burger. That is not a turkey burger. When I ordered that, my dad looked at me like I was crazy. It's not a turkey burger. That burger is let me remove this. That burger was a plant-based burger. It was a plant-based burger. And I'm telling you, it was delicious. Now, I know plant-based burgers, that doesn't mean they're healthier than the turkey burger. I didn't get it for the fact that it was healthier or not. I ended up getting that that plant-based burger because it looked so good. And I've had it there before and I know it's good. And I thought, I'd rather have this. I'd rather have that. And when I tell you that burger was so good, that plant-based burger was so good. So I'm embracing that plant-based seafood lifestyle again. I honestly think that's the best kind of a eating plan you could be on, taking a GLP-1. That's just my own personal opinion. We all have opinions, right? So that was my Mother's Day. I had a good weekend. I did have some fries with that burger, for just if you were thinking, because if you know that restaurant, you get these big steak fries, and I had some fries with it. So that was kind of like my meal, because on Sundays I kind of have something that I really want. That is also kept me. I want to say too, because people, some people make comments on my channel. Not some people, a few people. And not on my channel. I shouldn't say that. I've seen them on other channels making comments about what people are eating. If somebody said they ate this or that, and I can see if people are indulging all the time, but to indulge every now and then, I think that's okay. That's how you balance those calories out. And remember, I'm also trying to eat more. Somebody also made a comment on one of my videos. I think it was Jen. I don't know if Jen is in here. That's my girl. I love Jen. But Jen said, she made a comment about, could I be having, food noise and all that kind of stuff because I'm eating more, or something about the fact that I'm eating more. And, yeah, I am trying to eat more, but the what is making the cravings and all that come is I'm not craving celery. I'm not craving. I'm not craving cucumbers. I'm not craving healthy things. The problem is I'm craving things that aren't so healthy. And I'm even craving like chocolate. I'm not a chocolate person. If I have chocolate, it has to have caramel and nuts with it. I just don't want to eat plain chocolate, but I'll do take that. But one of the things I figured out is that the chocolate and all those cravings are coming because I am having symptoms of a cycle without a cycle. So I don't know how many of you are going through that. I haven't had a cycle and I don't know when. I do know when because I track it on an app, but I can't remember off the top of my head. It's just been a while. And so, but I've been noticing this week, especially this week and a little bit last week, I've had symptoms of a cycle without an actual cycle. So, the bloating, I mean, I could see it, in some of my videos, like the bloating, the hot and cold and all of that, all those, the cravings that you get when you're having a cycle. And so I think I'm attributing that to some of the cravings, because I haven't thought and had that word pop in my head, and I don't know when, cravings, but I'm feeling like, yeah, because that's what it is. I'm thinking about certain foods. And so I'm just going to push through and power through until I can't, Once I get to the point where I can't do it, then I just won't. I just won't. But for right now, like I'm pushing through. And so on Sundays, I eat like a higher calorie, and that kind of balances me out with, on the lower end. So I'm eating 1,800 calories. I upped it from the 1,600 to 1,800. And so remember, my goal is to even get to 2,000. So I think once school gets out and I can amp up that exercise, I'm going to be eating 2,000 calories. So you'll see if I'm losing or if I'm not. If I'm not, then I'm going to tweak it. But before I tweak it, I'm going to be calling the DEXA scan place and asking them, like, what do they suggest I do before I do anything on my own? Remember, I'm taking those DEXA scan results to my doctor in June as well. So I feel like I have a team of people besides you guys. You guys are my team too, but I have a team of people that are cheering me on outside of here. My doctor, the DEXA scan, doctor, who else? I have another doctor, my gynecologist. Like everybody is like on this team cheering me on. So I'm excited to see like what my numbers are and what's going on. So I have been giving into those cravings, though. I just want to be honest with you. my daughter has like, we have candy stash everywhere. Her Halloween candy and stuff. I give her a little bit and I hide it. What I don't, she's gonna hear me say this, but I hide it from her. And so I know where it's at, right? Because I'm hiding it. And so I'll go and get like a bite-sized piece and eat that. That's what I've been doing for my little cravings. I'm still within my calories, but I'm still eating that little bit. That's been my little thing. And so now, my plan is to take all that to school tomorrow, and I'm gonna be passing those babies out. Like all her candy that's left. And before I haven't even wanted it. I haven't even wanted it. So people might be saying, well, that means it's time for you to titrate up. It could be, but like I said, for me, I'm okay with, doing, I want to have some control over what I'm doing too. That's just, my thing. And so I have 3 more months of 10. Remember, 3 more months. Like I get my medication in 3-month intervals. So I'm going to try to stick it out. But like I said, if I can't stick it out, if I find myself, feeling like I'm stuck or like this is too overpowering for me to try it, then I will bump it up to 12.5. So that is it. That is it. Thank you guys for cheering me on. I'm going to give myself some confetti. I'm going to give myself some confetti because I made it to that 70 pounds. Like, I am excited. Yay. Go, Dee Dee. Go, Dee Dee. So what are you guys celebrating and what are you saying in the chat? Okay, so now this chat is so funny. It'll scroll down. It's a lot of comments. So if I skip yours, and I don't say something, just like copy and paste it and put it back down at the bottom because I'm either at the top or at the bottom. The middle part is what is hard to keep up with. All right, so we have people who came in. We have the Mel to the B. We have Simply Taisha. Hello, ladies. And then we had our predictions. People are saying hello to everyone. Let's see. That's a blast from the past. Red Robin, that's a smart adding on an egg. Yes, but he didn't do it. He didn't add on the egg. He did not add on the egg. He just got a regular old burger. But I told him, if you want to feel like you're eating breakfast, add that egg on there. I mean, what's the difference between that, sausage and eggs, a ground beef patty and eggs? I don't know. Kim J says, a special little lady in her mom's voice. She is so lovable. Yes, and I do call her a little lady. I love it. Taisha says she's driving and watching. Hey, Taisha. Okay, Harjarine, how are you? How are you? She says she's walking and tuning in. You sound like my mom. She cannot stand that point too. I told her as long as it's dropping, she's winning. Yes, yes. And I have to embrace that. But I mean, it just, oh gosh, it just, drives me insane. Geez, 101, how are you? How are you? Happy Sunday. Let's see. Bev, how are you? Happy Sunday. She says happy Sunday. Hey, Nia, how are you? Hey, how are you? Oh, yes, I know. She's breaking out, Felicia. We don't know. Now, today she has not. So I think it's heat related. I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't know. I can't quite figure that out. Higher cortisol during your last few weeks, Dee Dee, praying still for baby Dee Dee's complete healing. Yes, I know. She goes to that dermatologist. I need to get next Friday. Or this coming Friday, I need to get her Elaine to like an allergist because she's obviously allergic to something. She says, I hope I'm not allergic to school because I really like school. She is so funny. All right, so these are the predictions. You guys were predicting that I lost. Mail to the B. Whoop, whoop. Yes, congrats, girlfriend. I knew it. Thank you, Mail. People are saying congratulations. I'm so excited that I got down to that 70. I'm 71.2, so I got to keep it going. You have been losing consistently. So happy for you and the fact that you chose to stay at your dose. Thanks, Elaine. Beautiful pics, Diva, baby D, so precious. She is a little cutie, patootie. Oops, I'm sure it was strategic. Thank you guys for the cute pics. For saying her pics are cute. You crushed your goal of 70 pounds. Awesome. Yes, yes. Oh, she scared me coming in here. It felt good. Nope, we are the Reds. Yes, but we look good in pink too. Darium says we should be pink and soft. No wonder she said yes. I remember that. I remember that. Looking good, Dee Dee. Thank you. Oh, your dad, he's so sweet. He's a nice guy. These pictures are everything, especially when the scale doesn't show. Your pictures speak volumes. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. You definitely have slimmed down, so thank you. Yeah, I gotta show this picture again. Look at that before and after. Like, I really wish I had like I'm gonna put the little border on it, maybe for another thumbnail where I could show those curves. Like, I don't know if you could really see it on this, but look at that difference. I don't know if can you guys see my cursor? Look at look at that difference between the two. Look at you can't really see. I don't know, you could see it, but yeah, you could definitely. And the funny thing is, I don't see that. Look at me sitting down even. I don't even see that when I see myself. I don't think I have body dysmorphia either, because I know people always want to label stuff a thing. I don't think I have that. I just think I have my and not that I'm looking at myself like I'm so huge. I'm not saying that either, but I don't see like a huge difference either. So I don't know what you call it, but I don't want to call it that because I don't think it's that distorted, but maybe it is. Maybe it is. I'm an educator. We label everything. I'm so sick of labels. um, Thank you, Elaine. I saw that. Love the photos. Looking good. Thank you. Okay, very good. So these are all people. I love this. So true. Balance is the key in this journey and in life in general. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, Tracy, how are you? Dee Dee, I believe it's nothing wrong with a little craving every now and again. Balance, yes. I know, but you have some people who want this journey to be so perfect for everybody. And it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be. For me, it's just not gonna be. Like, I'm not one of those ones. Now, I do things, I would say 80 to 90% of the time. And during Lent, though, it really is mental, I think, too. During Lent, I mean, I will say I was 100% on it. I really was. And that's because I made a commitment not to myself, but to God. And it was a short time and I said I was going to stick to it and I did. And I give myself credit for it and I don't even really have that many weaknesses where I had to pray about it. But every day I just thank God for, allowing me to stick to my commitment to this. So that's why I love Lent. So that tells me though, if it's a mental thing, because what else has changed? Nothing. I'm in charge of everything else I'm doing. So, and we all know that weight loss is a mental thing, right? It's mental, and sometimes you see things, and you shouldn't maybe overindulge or have it, and you do. But I haven't been overindulging. I really have still been sticking with my calories, obviously, because if I had been overindulging, I wouldn't eat. But please don't come in my comments though. Saying things about you ate a burger, you ate was a plant-based burger, but oh, you ate some mac and cheese. Like on a Sunday, if I want to have a scoop of mac and cheese, I'm gonna have a scoop of mac and cheese. Like, geez Louise. And I'm not eating mac and cheese every day. If I want to have some mac and cheese on the Easter Sunday, like, keep that comment to yourself. Just let me have it. As people will come in your comments saying stuff like that, and it's like, we're content creators, so we're showing you, how we're living, what we're doing, what we're eating. I'm sure people aren't showing you every little thing they're doing and eating. Some of us are, some of us, I guarantee you, are not, and that's their choice. But I think when people are honest enough to share what they're doing, to be critical of that. And for me, honestly, I'm not very sensitive. I just think, it's like I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. But I'm not a sensitive person, I thank goodness. But sometimes people come in with these comments and it's like, well, are you eating a scoop of mac and cheese? Like, or do you have a perfect weight loss journey? Because if you do, I will really want to see that documented somewhere. That's what I'm saying. Like, if your journey is perfection, then comment. But if your journey is not a perfect comment, don't come in my comments saying things about what I'm eating. That's all I'm saying. So that person out there, you know who you are, that's making comments. Don't say anything about my whole plant-based burger, but just know I did add fries to that. I love it. I love it. It's just funny. It's funny. I appreciate your transparency. Thank you. Thank you. I'm beginning my 3rd month. Sorry, I appreciate all your insight. Oh, you are so welcome. Good luck on your journey. So, and I remember you saying, I can't remember, I want to say you said you lost 16 pounds. Paul? If I'm right, let me know. But congratulations. We're going to give you some confetti. Just the people that are new getting on this. This is like I always say it's a trial and error, right? There is, yay, Paul. There's no perfect journey. There is no perfect journey. And if you had one, just give us the blueprint and maybe we could follow it. So if you've had a perfect journey, I say good for you, but everybody's not going to have a perfect journey. I, for one, have not. I'm beginning my 3rd month. I'm learning a lot from you, Taisha, and all my amazing sisters in this fight. I know I spelled Taisha's name wrong using my voice to text. Oh, that's okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. We appreciate that. Little Diva's comment made me laugh out loud. She hopes she's not allergic to school. Yes, baby, loves learning, exploring, growing, creative, fun, and sociable. That is her, Kim. That is her. I love that voice texting. Taisha did a fabulous job explaining how our brains don't catch up with our weight loss. So what I think is happening to me when I look at myself sometimes. Yes, 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 yes. I think so too. And you can see in pictures, you could clearly see, like even in yours, Elaine. Exactly, Elaine, it's hard. You don't realize it sometimes. Yes, yes, yes. I still, because you're used to being in that body for so long. I think that's what it is. Paul, yes, this community is a learning platform every day. Exactly, Dee Dee. This journey must be sustainable for the individual. Yes, yes, yes. Not a scoop of mac and cheese, Dee Dee. Yes, I had that on Easter. Remember I showed my Easter dinner? Um, and it was delicious. It was delicious. And it's funny because that was coming right off Lent, right? When I was eating so super clean. I'm surprised, because I said, when I started back at off Lent, eating the meat, which really has just been chicken, that I started to get constipation. And the person wrote on one of my comments, well, you have mac and cheese. That's why you were constipated. Well, I had it on Friday, Saturday, not just Sunday. And I stopped, I went off of Lent on that Good Friday. So I started eating chicken and, back to the meat. So it's not just the mac and cheese. So I know it wasn't just that mac and cheese. But your honesty and transparency help others that fall off the wagon. I need to get back on that. I've had something on days that maybe I shouldn't have, but still good progress. Yes. And I'm telling you, Beverly, people do not have perfect journeys. They just don't. They just don't. And I'm saying the ones that do, I say, good for you. Good for you. Give us the blueprint. That's all I say. Now, you might be saying, I'll give you the blueprint, but you're not going to follow it. Well, maybe we won't today, but maybe one day. We will. Maybe one day we will. So following me is like a real, it's just a real weight loss journey, right? You're going to have your ups, your downs, when you lose, when you don't, when you gain, we just are. So, but you guys motivate me. So, it's like, I know I have to show up here every Sunday. And so that also helps me to be more accountable to myself too. It's like a reminder, right? And, I'm trying to motivate myself, but I'm also hoping, I motivate you guys too. And so, it's like we're in this together, right? We're kind of in this together. Dee Dee, eat your burger. Whole plant-based burger and fries, honey. I'm happy you enjoyed it and you lost weight too. It's a win-win. Yes. That was a plant-based burger. So if you ever hit Robert, I'm telling you, that Impossible Burger, I think it was an Impossible Burger. That burger was so good. Like I chose that even over the turkey burger. So I'm like this plant-based is my thing, I just I felt so much lighter. I don't know how many times I could say that. Thank you, Harjarine. I felt so much lighter when I wasn't eating the meat. I really did. So I'm going back to that, feeling good. You could look good, but feeling good. I always say that to people. I see people saying that now to people themselves, but I always ask people and say to people, you look good, but do you feel good? Because I know a lot of people that look good that don't feel good. And so feeling good is, I want to feel good, right? And so that's one of the reasons that had me fed up on my weight gain journey when I was gaining weight. And when I became a type 2 diabetic, one of the things that, just kind of also, I guess, got sick and tired of not feeling good, right? So feeling good. So I'm feeling a little bit sluggish. It could be, like I said, I'm having the symptoms without a symptom, without the cycle. So I'm having that going on. I was having a hard time for the past 2 weeks in a row, stayed the same. The next week I gained 1.2. This week finally lost 2.2 and pressing on. Yes, yes, yes. And that's what you got to do. And, we're all going to get to our goals if we don't give up, right? That's the main thing, Bev. Gaining weight is such a disappointment, especially when you've been doing all the things. But then look how you almost doubled your weight loss that following week. So I think that's good. So that means you got back on track. And that's what we got to just do. We got to push through. There's no need to deprive yourself of anything. This is an ongoing process. You want it, eat it, and then you may not want it again. Yes, and I find that too. Like once I have it, I'm done. But like I said, it's something really special going on. It's just a brouhaha of all the things like going on with these cravings, with the food noise. My appetite is not as suppressed. So, and I see the need. Like one of the things I want to just say, thank God that my insurance covers my medication. So I'm not in a hurry to lose weight. Not that I want to be, going through this process of, if I could lose 2 pounds a week, I would take that, right? If it was happening, but it's not. And I don't know that that's realistic for most people that they're going to lose 2 pounds a week every week, but a pound a week, a half a pound a week, or averaging over a month, I'll take it. That's what been my weight loss, right? 4 to 5, maybe 6 to 7 at the highest a month. And, 9 pounds now, remember, because for Lynn, I lost 9 pounds in that month, that 30 days. So I've been losing slow and steady. And I'm not one of those people that feel like I got to hurry up and lose all the weight I can because, I can't afford this medication. I'm spending a ton of it out of pocket. We got to remember there are folks out there that are in that situation where they feel like they have to, lose it so fast, suppress their appetite. So I just hope those people, once they get off, they don't gain it all back. You don't lose your hair in the process. Your skin is not, jacked up in the process, because you can tell how healthy a person is by their hair, their nails, and their skin. You really can. And I just look at pictures of myself when I was 300 plus pounds. My face had acne all over it. I was having breakouts. And that's another thing. Soon as I started back eating that chicken, guess what? I started to get bumps. I don't know if you could see bumps on my face. I started to get that acne back. I didn't have acne for 40 days. It did not come. So it came when I started eating that meat again. So food plays a big role in what you're doing, but I don't have to hurry up and feel like I'm so anxious and fast to lose weight fast. And so that's to me a blessing from God that I'm in that position. But I always say, I'm retiring next year. That's my goal. If somebody from my job is watching, don't mark me down yet until I put that paperwork in. But my plan is to retire, and I don't know what's going to happen with my insurance. I don't know what's going to happen with my retirement insurance. Is sure not going to be like my working insurance. So, I got a lot of stuff to plan and think about. And so that's another reason why I want to learn how to tackle my cravings and tackle what's going on. Because I feel like people with insurance assume that it's going to be like that all the time. Nothing is ever for sure. And then, I'm a single lady. I don't have a spouse. I don't have a spouse's insurance. I don't have like a partner to lean on either, for insurance and things like that. So, it's just all me. I'm doing this, by myself as far as financial. And so, I just got to think. I'm planning for like if my insurance covered it, and I'm also trying to plan for if my insurance doesn't. And my worst case scenario is that I'm going to be out here being one of those 85% that gain all the weight back. And I can't do that. I can't do that. So so another thing, that's why I think I also want to feel like I want to be able to like know how to maneuver when things aren't just like I'm having no food noise. Oh, I'm having an appetite suppression. Oh, it's easy peasy when none of that is going on for you. And so that has not been me. It's been a struggle. I'm on a struggle bus, but I am riding it and making it. I am making it. So what are you guys celebrating? She says, Dee Dee, are you eating organic chicken? That's what I tried to eat mostly. Yes, I do. I should get most of my meats from Whole Foods. So I do. And like they have an organic rotisserie chicken. But I don't know if you've ever watched some documentaries. Organic is not what you think. So you think you're eating things organic, and it's the definition of organic is still very loose. And so, yeah, all that stuff, you got to think all that stuff, you're eating from, an animal. So you got to think about that. But anyway, it's better than, you're right, Bev. Organic is better than not. So, yes. But remember, when you're going out and eating out, which is why I think, a lot of overweight people and bigger people, when you're eating out, you don't know what you're getting. They're not definitely not, those fast food places aren't using organic. So when you're eating out, wing dings and all that, they're not organic wing dings. Kim says people need to chill out, take several beats with negative criticism of themselves and especially others, projecting crap on others, not knowing how words can be triggering. Yes, and I will say, other than those little comments, I've been very blessed. I have not gotten them, but like I said, I've seen other people's videos or comments on other people's videos and comments people make it, and and I want to make this clear because I do like feedback. So if I was eating like what you call that Chick-fil-A, I know Chick-fil-A has I get a salad from Chick-fil-A, but I know Chick-fil-A has those soups, and when people are eating soup, people are in their comments saying that's why you didn't lose. You were eating that soup from Chick-fil-A. So I think that that's a productive comment, right? Because maybe the person wasn't aware that that Chick-fil-A soup had a lot of sodium. And I remember this lady got so mad. She went off on another one of her videos about this, but to the person leaving these saying these things, but I think that they were trying to be helpful, that sort of thing. You never know how to take a text message though. That's why, I like to call people and hear people what they got to say, like to me, because you never know how to incorporate an email or a text message. But, I've just seen that in people's comments telling people what to eat and how to eat. And I think that's great. If that's, your intention is to be helpful. But if you're saying like, well, you didn't lose weight because you ate, it's how you say it that I think, just kind of gives me pause. But it gives me pause. And again, like I said, if I got on here complaining about what I did and trying to figure out like why didn't I lose? I'm so upset about why I lost. Like you will never catch me. Well, I'm not gonna say never because you never know, but you won't really see me in a video saying that. Usually if I didn't lose, I gotta know why I didn't lose, right? I'm not saying I don't know why. I did everything so right and this, that, and other. And there will be times where, I will hold on to water and things like that. And it just has to do with my hormones, my age, and all of that. But for the most part, I think most of us know when we didn't lose, you probably ate out somewhere, you were holding on to water, you ate more than you should. And when you're not tracking, you probably don't even know, what it was. And so because I am tracking and have an idea of what I'm eating, how much I'm eating, I got my little portions. And actually, this could probably last me for 2 days, especially these nuts right here could last maybe 2 days. But, when I'm doing things like that and I'm able to see what I'm eating and track how much I'm eating, it's just helpful when I don't lose so I can know what to tweak. But anyway, so what are you guys saying in the chat? Okay. So let me just clarify, no one's really hurt my feelings or had a comment that just made me so sensitive and upset, except for somebody making a comment about diversity. And and that was on a post I put about diversity. It wasn't even related to weight loss. And they wrote something like, diversity is not good, something like that. Now that just irritated me because it's like, come on, dude, But other than that, I take what people say and I just figure people are on here. If you're taking time out and you're commenting on a lot of my videos, I just assume you have good intentions. And yeah, I'm not sensitive, so that's helpful. Real talk with Elaine. Great point, Elaine. I also think initial goal of weight loss for non-diabetics, just want to lose the weight. The other side of that is learning a new lifestyle. Okay, wait, I missed hers. Did I miss you, Tracy? I'm sorry. See this chat? Okay, let's go back up. Tracy says, I have my ups and downs on my weight loss journey. However, I am down 80 pounds on Zepbound since June. Oh my goodness. Let's give her some confetti. I love that. Tracy, good job. That is awesome. 80 pounds. Jeez, Louise. Yeah, look at yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back. Like you did that. You did that. I love that. Oh my goodness. Good for you. I love that for you. Bellflower says, you showed out for Lent. Slower it falls off. I always believe it stays off longer too. Yes, yes, yes. And that Lent, I was on it, right? But I was eating. I did not feel deprived or any of that. That's such a good point because I think people rush this process, says Elaine, because they are afraid of losing access to the mints. They really do. I think people do. And if I was in a money crunch, I can't really blame those people. I just think sometimes we don't know people's situation. And I always say that's my teacher heart, feeling, bad for people. But I just think that, yeah, I think people are operating under reasons we don't know. You know what I mean? Dee, okay, we talked about the organic. Okay, all right. All right, we talked about that. Okay, see how it scrolled me back up? Oh, Harjarine says, and I motivate you. Thank you, thank you. I hope so. I hope so. Tracy, your weight reduction. Way to go. Yes, yes, yes. Taisha is home. Taisha is home. I love that. You're at your mama's house now. Tell mama I said hello. Exactly, Dee. Feedback, not negative criticism. What's the internet purpose, tone, and delivery? Or what's the intent, purpose, tone, and delivery? Yeah, and sometimes you can't see that in a text. You can't. All right. Besides Tracy, we know about Tracy with those fabulous 80 pounds. What else is anybody else celebrating? Congratulations, Tracy. I agree, Nicole. Taisha. So what are you guys celebrating? Any other losses besides Tracy's 80 pounds and my 70 pounds and Paul has been losing? Bev, we have to give Bev some confetti. Bev says she's down, what she say, 2.2 pounds this week. I'm trying to find it. Bev, where you said that, but we're going to give you the confetti because this is taking forever for me to scroll down and find it. Bev, yay, she's down 2.2. I love that. I love that. And you guys, I want to ask you guys, so what keeps you guys motivated when you gain? Like if you gain for the week, what keeps you motivated to keep going? Because Tracy says she's had her ups and downs on her journey, right? And you're on that Zepbound. Zepbound right now is king, 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 king. So you're on that Zepbound. And what keeps you going when the scale isn't moving? Like what has kept you going, or when you're gaining? What keeps you going? I would love to know that. Bellflower says, non-scale victory, purging my closet, packing up the bags of clothes, and refilling my new size. Yes, yes, yes. I love that. Yeah, I'm working on that myself. Very good. Bev, that is awesome. The mail to the B. I walked 3 miles today. First time since last year. Elaine, you have been getting it though. Your videos, you've been getting it with that walking. Tell Trainer Thomas I said hello. I just love Trainer Thomas. He's over there making it happen for you. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you, Nia. Simply Tations, knowing that I'm doing everything I possibly can keeps me going. Okay, very good, very good. I'm motivated by my consistency and commitment to reaching my goal. Yes, yes, yes. And I love that, Elaine, on Elaine's channel, she talks about hiring that personal trainer, which I'm thinking about Elaine doing for the summer. But I remember I'm on a retirement budget. And so it's so funny because my daughter said, Mom, what's the retirement budget? And I said, well, that means I only have so much money to spend. And she said, well, how much do we have to spend? And I said, $0. Oh, I cracked myself up. She was like, huh? I'm down a little over 70 pounds in 40 weeks. I also haven't had the itchy red spot this week. Now that's a non-scale victory. And I haven't been as cold. Very good. So sounds like those side effects are like loosening up. Kim, yay! We have to give you some confetti. Good job. That is awesome, awesome, awesome. I love that. 70 pounds in 40 weeks. She like put that 40-week stamp on it. I love that. Bev says, I'm motivated by the new feeling in my body health-wise and every content creator that posts. That's so encouraging. Very good, very good. So that's good to know that the content creators are supporting you. So let's just shout them out. So in my chat, somebody came up with this. This wasn't me. But put your channel in the chat. I put people up, but I think it's almost, I don't know, better for you to put it up in the chat. Sometimes people's name don't match up, but some of you guys do. So Harjarine, she's a content creator. I love your shorts too. Like, yeah, she's over there dropping some knowledge. I love that. And we have Real Talk with Elaine, that's a content creator. We have Kim J Sweet Healthy Life, that's a content creator. Go check out their channels. We have Simply Taisha, that's a content creator. We had G's 101 is, where is he at? He's up here somewhere. G's 101. If you could put your, if you're still in here, oh, here he is. G's 101. Oops. He's a content creator. Go check out his channel. You know, and you go over to people's channels, you know, and see if you like, you know, what they're, you know, offering and following their journeys, you know, see if that's something you want to follow. You know, go for it. Let's see. Did I leave out anybody? If I left out anybody, just write your name in the chat. I'm trying to scroll down, but there's so many folks. Sometimes I leave people out and feel bad afterwards. Okay, I think I got everybody. If I didn't get you and you're in here, we did we already said Real Talk with Elaine, and then Real Talk Journal. How is her name? I want to make sure I get it right. She's also another content creator. So, oh, here she is. Real Journal Talk with V. She's also a content creator. So go check out these channels. If there's somebody you want to follow, I say go for it. Go for it. But you got to go over there and check them out to know if you want to follow them or not. So I think you should just give them a try. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, there she is. I did find you. I had to scroll down. All right, so you says, I am motivated by feeling healthier and seeing my clothes size decrease. Yes, the clothing makes all the difference in the world. You know, I still need to go through and switch over my winter and summer clothes. And actually, I was going to do it on my spring break, but it was so cold here. It's just been so cold. So now I see all next week it's going to be in the 60s. And so I'm just going to keep my longer sleeve things another week. So maybe Memorial Day weekend, I could get in there and switch over my clothes. But this is kind of a short sleeve, little out, you know, shirt I have on. I'm headed to, after this, I'm headed to the grocery store. I still have to buy some things, and then I'm going to be making my salmon and a big pot of green beans for the week. My lunch, I want to make tuna, but what am I having for lunch tomorrow? I think I'm having some leftover crab cakes for tomorrow. So yeah, so I'm on that path to getting it together. All right. So Elaine did write hers in here. Let's see. Here's Real Talk with V. Here's Real Talk with Elaine. Here's Kim. Here's Harjarine. Okay, very good. So if you guys don't have anything else, I am out of here. I'm off to the grocery store. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. You know, I want you guys to go check out my interview with Zepbound Journey with Ange. And she did a nice job of explaining her story. I thought it was a great interview. And she's also someone who's had struggles with, you know, her weight all pretty much, you know, a lot of her life. And even being on Zepbound, she's on the highest dose, 15. And so she also has some struggles. So I would say to everyone, you know, if you're having a struggle with weight loss and you're having a struggle being on 15, you know, people out there that's watching this replay, I would definitely check out her interview. She also talks about at one point she was trying to get, I want to say Zepbound approved by her insurance, what she had to do to go through that. So I thought that was very helpful, you know, message she sent out. So I would definitely check that out, her interview. And then she came on Friday night. She came on my live Friday night, and she talked about how to get that husband of your dreams, how to get that husband. And what did she do with her husband to stay married? I think, I want to say she said May 20th, they're celebrating 13 years, if I'm not mistaken. But she got a ring in 4 months, and she got married within less than a year. So if you're a single lady out there, and this is her second marriage. So, and second and last, I will say. So if you're a single lady out there, you might want to check that out. I thought she did a great job of telling that story about her husband. And she also did a great job of talking about how they complement each other, the things to look for. And, you know, as a single lady, you know, on a weight loss journey, you know, we're on that journey, you know, not to sell ourselves short and to still have those high expectations, but be ready to, you know, embrace that fine man once you get on. Right? So check out that video. That video is from Friday. So with that said, everybody have a great Sunday. We'll leave with Miss Taisha saying, enjoy your Sunday and have a great week, everyone. Yes, 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 yes. All right. Thanks, Bill Flower. Great live, Dee Dee. Have a great Sunday. Everybody have a safe, happy Sunday, and I will see you guys on Wednesday.